So I had to make this video because I really believe that my conservative slash Republican friends are turning into idiot zombies. And let me explain to you why I feel like they've become idiot zombies. So there's so many topics that are hardcore about this new president and his administration. So I'm just going to try to focus on a few things because I take the time to explore different news sources because, I don't know why, but suddenly all the news that was fine for everyone before, especially my Republican and conservative friends, is all fake news, which I don't know what kind of news they're watching anymore, being that even Fox has kind of turned their backs on our commander and queef. So let's just start with the first one. So I ask my Republican slash conservative friends, you voted for this administration that obviously is against gay rights. So your brother or your sister or your cousin or your best friend is gay. How can you vote for somebody that is literally working on taking away their ability to not be discriminated at work? Can you explain this to me? And what do I get? Nothing. And I'm like, well, hello, do you have an answer? Like, do you realize you just stabbed your family member or your friend in the back and potentially put people in office that will take away these basic laws that were put into place to protect them? And, can you explain this to me? Okay. Second, so a lot of my conservative slash Republican friends, they hike and they hunt and they love nature so much. So I ask them, what about that you're supporting an administration that is reversing all the environmental laws that protect clean water and clean air? Didn't your sister or aunt or mom, didn't they just have cancer of some kind? And don't you fish? And what benefits do taking away environmental laws or reversing environmental laws that are put in place to protect everyone, including your children in the future? Can you explain that to me? What's good about that? Hello? Hello? Can you explain that to me? No, of course they can't. And I could go on and on. Every time I come to them and ask them, how can you support an administration, a political party that is doing so much damage and separating and destroying so many things and reversing so many laws that took us decades to progress into? How can you be a good person? How can you say you believe in God and be a Christian and support the destruction of the environment, the destruction of life, the separation or the removal of basic human rights, and yet they can't argue it. They can't defend it. Yet they're voting for these people and putting them in power. So that's why I call them idiot zombies, because obviously they don't feel the need to think these things through before they support what I believe is truly evil. It's truly evil. Something that kills, destroys the innocent, something that makes inequality or makes people suffer, that is evil. That's not a judgment. It's obvious. So I could go on and on. How about women's reproductive rights? So the conservatives, they don't want to educate our children. No, they don't want to make education affordable. They don't want to feed or support any kind of constructive welfare system. But They don't want women to have access to birth control or to have access to being able to have an abortion when they need to or if they want to. There was a study done, and it was the decades following Roe versus Wade, and what they saw was a huge decrease in crime. And they figured out that it was because there was literally a huge population of children, unwanted children, that weren't born into a life of poverty. So if you do a little research, you can see why. I mean, as a man, I don't feel like I have any right to tell a woman what to do with her body. But when I ask my Republican/conservative friends about this, like, how can you say you're supporting life but not follow through? Oh, I see. You're supporting life as in like making a slave race, right? Because yeah, all life is precious, but it has to live in poverty and in ignorance, so it can only make minimum wage or less, to work the coal mines for you or the factory lines, so it can't have part of the, the American dream or compete with your children or the children of the 1 to 10%. Can you explain this to me? Of course you can't, because you're a fucking idiot zombie. And I hate to use those words, but it's just what I'm experiencing literally every time I ask my Republican/conservative friends on any issue that is obviously a lose-lose for everybody, a lose-lose-lose. They can't defend, they can't validate, they can't express, they just get real quiet or ooh-bee-boo-bee-boo, they just change the subject. Whatever. I don't think people that can't defend their administration's decisions, especially when they're as dire and serious as the decisions this administration has been pushing through and deciding for the majority, should be able to vote. If you can't defend what you're supporting, then you shouldn't be supporting it. Bye.